Late in the summer of 2004, a team of archaeologists in Northern Ontario discovered canisters of film containing the most important footage in Canadian TV history. The long-lost episodes of Jimmy McDonald's Canada. For a brief period in the mid-60s, Jimmy McDonald was the most popular TV star in the country. 10 million Canadians would tune in each week. Then, disaster. After a major on-air meltdown, McDonald succumbed to paranoia and mass delusion. He renounced television, the medium that had given him so much, so quickly. He decided to move to the Northwest Territories. Flying north, he took every episode of the show with him. Unfortunately, he wasn't trained as a pilot. The plane crashed and McDonald was presumed dead. A somber Prime Minister Pearson addressed the nation.
There are millions of people tonight who, throughout the world, will feel that they have lost a friend.
McDonald's body was never found. His hit show was thought to be lost forever.
My father, who never watched anything that wasn't political, never missed the Jimmy McDonald show. And when those episodes were lost, it was like part of Canada was lost.
When I was a kid, I used to plead with my parents to let me stay up and watch the Jimmy McDonald show. And when I actually got to see it, it was magic.
These archaeologists didn't just discover a bunch of old TV shows, they've allowed us to rediscover our nation's soul.
In the 60s, he was everything. And when he left, TV has never been the same. I loved you, Jimmy.
And now, for the first time in 40 years, CBC presents Jimmy McDonald's Canada.
Good evening, Canada. I'm Jimmy McDonald, and I'm going to give it to you straight. Forged out of the hard granite and icy ponds of this great nation, the manly pursuit of hockey used to be our pride and joy. But no more. Something's rotten in the state of our national game. Just look. Chimps playing hockey. Not exactly what Lord Stanley had in mind when he bequeathed his cup to this snow-covered colony. Tonight on Jimmy McDonald's Canada, I'm donning my own metaphorical skates and shin pads to conduct an inquiry into what's wrong at every level of the game. We Canadians thrive in frigid climates, and this bone-crunching communion with ice is our gift to the world, even though only a handful of other nations have even a fleeting interest in accepting it. Ah, yes, in pickup games across the land, the sacred bond is formed. A bond eternal, forged between inclement weather, youth, plywood, and the brittle sound of blade hitting ice. When I was a lad playing on the ponds of Saskatchewan, my brother made me 10 goal without so much as an Eaton's catalog on my rump for protection. Some of the games would last for 16 hours. Needless to say, the odd trip to the hospital for hyperthermia was a small price to pay for inclusion in my brother's circle of friends, and a chance to be part of a sublime Canadian tradition. Look at these kids. Swell. Just how did we skate off course so quickly and so thoroughly? Simple. Canada has become a peace-loving nation, at least on the ice. The problem begins with the modern father. Here's one proud papa modelly coddling his 2 sons, agreeing to take them to the local sporting goods emporium. Yes, he's indulging the boys, who've probably whined for months about getting the latest hockey equipment. Bad move, pater familias. This is no random piece of window shopping. This is a kiddie campaign, staged with military precision. The salesman brings out the most expensive skates in the shop. And then, the shin pad. How much equipment does a child really need? Shin pads are for sissy boys. And of course, this equipment is then used in organized kids hockey, where things really start to go wrong. Kids are the future of our game. The bleak future, that is.
It has 2 sports in one, and you can skate as fast as you want, do training, you can skim all over the ice. I feel that I might win, I might lose.
Yeah.
And I try to win, and I don't want to lose.
I thought they were taking hard shots, too.
Well, I like skating, and I like to try to get a few goals. That's about all.
Well, this is precisely what's wrong with hockey today. The little tykes are deluded into believing that enjoyment of the game is the key. They're dead wrong. It's bloodlust. Learn it, live it. I don't normally agree with some of the things a chap named Charles Darwin says, but when it comes to hockey, he's right. Survival of the fittest. Enough said. Here are some little tykes playing in an organized league. Folks, I'm amazed at this spectacle. Where's the fighting? Where's the body checking? Looks like these kids don't know what it takes to win. They just don't have the commitment. Spare the rod and spoil the hockey player. Why not lace them up with figure skates and let them do pirouettes? What is this, a polite Sunday skate? Check, lads, check! Quite frankly, I hope none of these children harbor any illusions that they'll make the NHL. They should quit wasting everyone's time right now and start preparing for law school entrance exams in their spare time. Well, we've seen the degradation of a great national institution. I'm sorry. I apologize, but the truth hurts sometimes, especially when an entire country has fallen on its collective keister. I need a break. Coming up, a look at the sorry state of the NHL, and I get to talk to one of my broadcasting heroes, Foster Hewitt. But first, let's have this advertisement for Canada's favorite brand, Provincial Cigarettes. Remember, if you're Canadian, you've got to be provincial.
Oui, je connais bien l'émission. À l'époque, dans les années 60, on venait d'acheter un téléviseur noir et blanc, imagine-toi, et on regardait 2 émissions, Séraphin et Jimmy McDonald, sans faute, à toutes les semaines.
We always had hot chocolate while watching the Jimmy McDonald show, even if it was 90 degrees, which I found odd.
Hello, folks. I'm Jimmy McDonald, and tonight I'm lamenting the state of our national sport, hockey. Like most viewers, I grew up listening to Foster Hewitt describe the games on radio. It was an era before television. We had to imagine how the matchups looked. Hockey existed in the mind's eye, so to speak. Nowadays, I watch Mr. Hewitt do the play-by-play on Hockey Night in Canada. Foster Hewitt joins me now from his home in Forest Hill Village, North Toronto. Lovely to see you in a domestic setting. Good evening, Foster.
Good evening, Joe.
Actually, it's Jimmy, not Joe. Foster, I have an important question for you. What are your hobbies?
Well, I guess I used to be very interested in dancing until rock and roll caught up with me. And then I took to vegetable gardening, and that became very onerous. I think really I'd have to classify my work. I really get a great kick out of broadcasting hockey.
Foster, how did you get started in the broadcasting game?
Oh, well, that goes back to 1922. And I heard about this thing called radio, and I aspired to go into the newspaper game. And so when the Star built the first radio station in Canada, CFCA, I joined the staff of the Star.
Yeah, but how did you get started broadcasting hockey, Foster?
Oh, well, that was rather a fluke. They decided to do a little extra programming and include sport into it, and so they combed the sports department for a commentator. No one wanted to do it, so when I came into the Star that night, they picked on me, and I've been doing it ever since.
Foster, is it more difficult broadcasting hockey than it used to be?
I think it's exactly the same. The only thing is, I still get butterflies. I get very jittery, and my nerves get me down.
Does it affect your throat, Foster?
I never am bothered in any way with my throat. It's really my nerves, and I always feel it right about here. So in the course of a season, I can lose up to 16 pounds.
16 pounds? Gadzooks. Foster, you're wasting away to nothing. Well, that was a thrill for me, talking to a Canadian legend, but let's not lose focus. The NHL product has been diluted beyond all recognition, and yet you poor saps are still paying through the nose to see it. Here's a lineup of overzealous devotees rushing into Maple Leaf Gardens. Hurry up, people. You don't want to miss seeing today's lazy NHLer. Heavens, I hope no one was hurt in that crush. In today's NHL, there seems to be an over-reliance on strategy. Case in point, here's Punch Imlach pumping up his troops.
I want to see you defensemen not getting caught tonight. I don't want any three-man breaks, and I don't want you out in the ice any time that you're tired. I got Ed Litzenberger here who'll play in your places. I don't want you stick handling in our end. Make sure you get the puck up. Out of the end. I've seen too many goals in the last few games where we've been getting checked in our end and they end up putting it in our net. And I don't care who's playing against Bobby Hull. The minute that we lose the puck, you fellas will take after Hull. You'll check him, you'll look for him, and pick him up right away.
Hey, Punch, what's wrong with a good old Donnybrook? Why strategize? I want more fisticuffs. Strategy interrupts the flow of the game. Today's players are spoiled with an average salary of $15,000 per annum. In my day, players played for the love of the game and for the violence. You want a depressing sight? Here's some footage from a recent NHL game. And a little tea party it was. Montreal Canadiens versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. French-Canadian panache versus Anglican stick-to-itiveness. In days of yore, this was the pinnacle of our passion. Something to make the blood boil on a sub-zero Saturday night. But as you can see, our game is in a death spiral. Yes, that's the Montreal goalkeeper wearing a goalie mask. Some fraidy cat goalkeepers are donning this new piece of modern equipment, yet another sign that the meek are inheriting the earth. What's wrong with using your noggin to stop a few pucks? Boo indeed, sir. Boo indeed. Game between Toronto and the Chicago Blackhawks, here's some more damaging evidence. Get up, young man, get up. You're being paid a king's ransom. Don't succumb to whatever transitory throbbing you may happen to feel. You have an obligation to fulfill, a contract. Get up! Well, folks, it's time for our weekly visit from Marg Margison, here to offer a woman's advice. Each week, Marg Margerson joins us to offer a woman's advice. Marg, you're a lovely woman, a woman of infinite good sense. Tell me, from a lady's perspective, what do you think is wrong with our national game?
Well, Jimmy, it's important to remember that hockey demands teamwork. It's not an individual sport like tennis or croquet. So even if Mahovlich is barreling down the wing with reckless abandon, it doesn't mean anything if Bauer's letting in shots a 6-year-old could save. And who cares if Horton and Stanley are dishing out punishing body checks, if Armstrong and Keon are playing like frightened little girls. When the Maple Leafs lose to Montreal, it's not just 20 men being defeated, it's all of English Canada. So gentlemen, take a good long look in the mirror and remember the Plains of Abraham. And don't forget to eat a 20-ounce sirloin steak before each game. Don't let us down, Maple Leafs. Don't let us down. Let's build a great Canada. Back to you, Jimmy.
Thanks, as always, Marg. Lovely. I had no idea that you were so familiar with the intricacies of hockey strategy. You're a woman of bottomless surprises. I'll be back after this advertisement from Provincial Cigarettes. What smooth flavor. What great taste. Remember, if you're Canadian, it's got to be Provincial.
ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ 60 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਮੀ ਮੈਕਡੋਨਲਡ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਤੇ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਿਆਕਤ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਸੀਗੀ
ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
Welcome back, folks. I'm Jimmy McDonald, and I hate what's happened to hockey in Canada. How soft has the sport become? Well, even the ladies have taken up the puck habit. Now, I have nothing against women playing a little bit of shinny. It is a democracy after all. Why, even my dear Aunt Sybil used to go for long skates on the Mackenzie River, armed with only a piece of plywood and a frozen hunk of rubber. Sometimes she'd be gone for days. But I hope the ladies remember that this could never become the obsession it is for us menfolk. Why, someone has to make the oatcakes. Here's some footage of a recent match between two squads consisting entirely of ladies. Gosh, here's a bit of on-ice aggravation. One woman threatening the opposition. Nice to see, actually. Nice try, lady. Of course, it's tough to score when your slap shot clocks in at 6 miles an hour. And the game ends, fairly cordially. In all likelihood with an after-game tea, where canapes are served. Well, I don't think the Toronto Maple Leafs have to worry anytime soon about facing the Ottawa High Heels or the Nervous Nellies. Folks, it's time in the show for something I'm assured is your favorite part of the program. The outrage of the week. Now let's to it. I show you 3 pieces of film, then tell you which one of them outrages me the most. This week we're talking about hockey, and here are just 3 of the things that have me quite outraged. Number 1. The Russian threat. The commies have a lot of ice, a lot of snow, and a lot of spare time, and they're out to beat us at our own game. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Move aside, comrade. Our game may be in dire straits, but we'll never lose to a country that holds peace, order, and good government in such low esteem. The Russian threat is outrageous. Number 2. Table hockey. Yes, you heard me. Hockey played on a table. It's a new phenomenon designed for kids too lazy to go outdoors and play the game the way it was meant to be played. Table hockey is outrageous. And finally, number 3, the Zamboni. a new technological device that's designed to clean and flood the ice at the same time. And it's invented by an American to boot. I say, what's wrong with a couple of shovels and a big pail of water? Quit lazing around. Which one of these things outrages me the most? The Zamboni. Definitely the Zamboni. That's it for this week's show. Hockey in Canada. It used to define everything noble about the true North. The cacophony of broken bones, rough justice meted out on a sheet of ice, teeth lost and spat out with nary a care for dental etiquette. Those days, my friends, are gone. Next week on Jimmy McDonald's Canada, a show that's even more disturbing than this one. A show that, quite frankly, I thought I would never do. Welcome to an unthinkable nightmare. Hippies and the age of flower power. What's happening to this country? And more specifically, what's happening to its barbers? I'm Jimmy McDonald, and I'm going to give it to you straight. Good night, Canada. Hug your children. Maybe give them a haircut at the same time. Someone get me Marg's phone number.